Hey guys, it's been a minute. More than a minute, more like 6 months or something like that. I just wanted to give a little update. I don't prioritize making YouTube videos. I prioritize family first, work, and photography, pretty much in that order. And YouTube videos falls behind somewhere. And as much as I like to make videos, it's just not something I've had time to really give focus on. So, you might notice that this looks a little different from the iPhone that I was recording on in the last video, and that's because I'm now recording on the Nikon ZF. So yes, I now am back to Nikon after a few years with the Sony a7 III and the a7 IV. My last Nikon was the D850, fantastic camera, but now Nikon ZF and the Nikon Z8. Really like both of these cameras, and I kind of wanted to just give an update on what I've been doing and some of the images I've shot in the last half a year and my thoughts on both these cameras. So let's dig into that real quick. So I really have been enjoying both of these cameras. I use them a little bit differently. The ZF I really like to use at work. I use it for my content creation camera. I don't need the heavy hitting specs the Z8 offers for 99% of the work I do for Dead River Coffee. I do make a lot of content there, but it's mostly quick reels, clips, little sketches, and some photography. I do a lot of that stuff when I'm not roasting, which is like a privilege, honestly, that I get to do that at work. I think that the ZF is a fantastic camera for that. It's got a lot of pros. Negative for that kind of work, honestly, is its ergonomics. Its design doesn't lend well to being productive for long periods of time. But I love the camera nonetheless. As soon as the ZF was announced, I knew I needed to have it one day. It is a beautiful camera. I think harkens back to Nikon's rich design history in their film bodies. It's designed kind of after the FM2 body. And then also the ZFC is fantastic. I don't own one, but probably in the future I might get one because you can get them pretty cheap these days. But I use the ZF for basically everything at work. It's been fantastic. Video work is totally fine. Very similar workflow to the a7 IV. So I haven't been thrown by that much. And then I use the ZF also for stuff with family because it's a smaller camera, and with the 40mm lens that I got with the bundle with the ZF, it's been great. Haven't had an issue with that. I really am liking that 40mm look lately. And then I also use this ZF for easy like photo walks. I've used the 51.4. I have the Nikon, the cheaper 51.4. Great little lens, smaller than the Sigma I had on the Sony system, but I mean, for what you're paying, and I got it on the the Nikon refurb site for like $350, which is just a perfect, like a great, a great price for a very good lens. But between the 40 f2, the 51.4, those two lenses have been just like really nice walk around lenses around town, just getting like still life and street work, something I'm doing more of, just photos of the kids when we're out doing things, camping, grilling out, 4th of July stuff. We've been doing a lot of that, and I've been just taking the camera to do that more often, which is something I'm really happy that I am doing more of. And then the Z8. The Z8 has been a workhorse outside of work. It's nice to not use this heavy hitting camera for work. I honestly have been using it for a lot of wildlife photography. Before, I'm switching arms a lot because the ZF is kind of heavy. It's like 900 something grams, plus I have the Viltox 16mm lens on it, which also is not lightweight. So I'm switching arms holding. I'm switching which arm is holding the camera often, so I apologize if that's a little distracting. But the Z8 has been my wildlife camera. Fantastic body. Stack sensor, 45 megapixels. So we're getting an increase in resolution from the A7 IV's 33 megapixels. The files look really, really nice. It is fast. I'm talking like, I've actually had to dumb it down. I was previously shooting at 15. It goes up to 120 frames per second JPEGs. It has pre-capture only in JPEG, but in RAW I can shoot, I believe it's 20 frames a second, which is plenty. Let me check that. It is, so continuous high is 20 frames per second. I have kept it at 10 for a while because I was shooting way too much. When I first got the camera, I was just balls to the wall. Honestly, I think in my first 3 months it was over 50,000 images that I shot. Now, it's a stacked sensor with no mechanical shutter, so there's no shutter to wear out. So 50,000 images doesn't scare me. That being said, I did a lot of wildlife photography this spring, and I really am glad I pulled the trigger. I got the ZF in April and I got the Z8 in May, along with the 500mm PF lens, the Nikon F-mount lens. That lens adapts very well with the FTZ adapter that I got. I have been really enjoying the whole setup. So we hit spring migration. I got lots of warblers, lots of other migrating birds, and that's been a joy. I've had tons of fun shooting wildlife up here in the UP. I've done very little astrophotography because the wildfires in Canada have kept our skies so hazy, but that has made for some interesting conditions for sunrise, sunset. Even midday has tended to look like sunset light here, which is odd, but it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so my kit now is all Nikon. I sold the A7 IV. Aside from the Sigma 28-105, that is the only real Sony lens that I've held on to. Technically, I still have Sony mount, the Helios lens, the 58mm, as well as the Polar Pro 16mm weirdo lens. That what's that? That light leak lens. But anyway, lots of wildlife photography, very little astro, some landscape here and there, some intimate detail shots. I'll show some highlights of all of that. But I just wanted to get on and hit that upload button with a little update. I am yearning to get back into the flow of doing YouTube videos again. I want to do more, astrophotography when the haze clears up, and I've been really trying to get these sunrises, but it's hard to get up before 6 a.m. for those, especially if I'm going to travel anywhere for it. Yeah, it's been a joy. The Nikon workflow, easy to slip back into. I'm still here. I'm still shooting. I've been enjoying my time. Yeah, the 500mm PF, fantastic lens. I got it for like half retail price, which is nice. I almost always buy used lenses to save some money, and when you're saving like $1,700, good, I think good value in that. The Viltox lens I bought brand new. This lens that I'm filming on now is the 16mm. I'm a little worried it's quite wide for vlogging, because it can look, I don't know, you tell me, is this distracting if I'm walking to get so much in frame moving around like that? I don't know, maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. I could crop it, maybe make it look a little more normal. Push in. Whoa, this thing does focus quite close too. Let's open this up. I think it looks pretty good. Close that back down a little bit. Anyway, so I've got the 16mm. It's an f1.8 lens. I just got this lens too. I needed to get this lens because I sold the Sony 20mm. I still have the Sigma 28-105 2.8. Love that lens. It is such a workhorse. It does a lot for me at work, but I also use it for landscapes and intimate details, and it's a very good everything lens. So I've got the Sigma 28-105, this Viltox 16, the Nikon 40 f2, the Nikon 50 1.4, the 500, and that's kind of it. Aside from the other like one-off lenses that I've got and rarely use, but I will be exploring more of the manual focus lenses that exist for the Z system. There's a bunch of options, the Voigtlander lenses, 7 Artisan, TT Artisan, those kinds of lenses are out there too. So we'll see. I think there's definitely potential for a large collection of manual focus lenses in my future. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the kit I've got. I made quite the switch from Sony a7 IV one camera to ZF, Z8, and a bunch of Nikon lenses now. That all didn't happen at once, but I'm in a good spot. I'm very, very grateful to have a wife who supports me in doing photography and spending the money for it that way, and a job that lets me use this gear, which is very, very fun, and the time, of course, to go shoot outside of work. I'm going to continue to do that, and I am going to get back on sooner than 6 months from now. Let's open that back up a little bit, and I will talk to you again soon. I'm going to be doing more astro, more sunrises, and maybe some more wildlife, even though spring migration's done. We got fall migration to look forward to. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.